Hey everybody, I'm Trevor.
I'm Vincent.
And we are the Anthony and Todd Show. Today we're going to be taking a look at the latest record by the Claypool Lennon Delirium, South of Reality, which has a cockroach on the cover. It's a little scary.
Ooh.
The Claypool Lennon Delirium is essentially like a super group, super duo kind of pairing of Les Claypool, the bassist and frontman of the band Primus, you might know, who did the South Park theme song, and also the son of John Lennon, Sean Lennon.
Yeah.
Who's just a musician.
Yeah.
I don't think he has a band.
He's done a couple things. I remember
He just kind of does his own thing.
Yeah, he's been a part of a couple things. I think at one point he had a group with Albert Hammond Jr. at one point. He's done a couple things. He hasn't really. He's more known for this. This has been like his most notable thing
right
so far. Besides doing like production work with like Lana Del Rey or anything like that.
Yeah. In reality, the band's only been playing together for like 2 years, but on this record, it sounds like they've been playing together for way longer than that.
Yeah.
The chemistry between Claypool and Lennon is just actually really nice.
Yeah.
And really unexpected too. Sometimes when you have like super groups, they don't mesh together that well. But this works out really well. I think they have a lot of the same goals in mind. This record is essentially 47 minutes of prog rock.
Yeah.
Kind of psychedelic prog rock. And they're doing their own thing. Kind of like world building, like what we want King Gizzard to do.
Yeah.
But it works out a lot better.
Yeah.
Because like while Primus is a thing and Sean Lennon is a thing, the Claypool Lennon Delirium easily could just be a side project that they throw out. And it's just kind of out there. Kind of like Nostrum Grocers.
Yeah.
There wasn't like a lot of world building on that because they thought it would just kind of be a throwaway. But like this is its own like separate world building. It's got its own environment. The premises of these songs could either range from like trying to be social commentary and woke culture kind of thing, or they could literally just be like telling stories. Like on the second track, Blood and Rockets, the saga of Jack Parsons, which is literally about, it's like a true story of this guy Jack Parsons who used to work on like rockets and space travel for the government, and then like fell into some sort of cult, like a religious cult, and then he spent all of his time doing that, and he got like blacklisted from the government and wasn't allowed to like work on rockets, and I mean just like crazy stuff. He was trying to summon goddesses, and then he blew up in his lab.
Yeah,
just a really crazy story that's not told often, and they made an entire like 2 movement piece out of it. Really interesting, honestly. But then you've also got like kind of dumb tracks like Easily Charmed by Fools, where it's talking about like girls falling for fools because she swipes right for pretty boys on Tinder. It just like it bounces between like this world building that I really like enjoy seeing, and I enjoy hearing about like these weird stories like Tony Man's Hour, which is literally just like Les Claypool just like doing some really weird vocal performances with a ton of like slap bass in the background, which is a lot of fun. It's not really about anything.
Yeah.
But you've got like these get off my lawn type of moments, which I absolutely hate seeing, especially in like rock music. So we talked about like Paul McCartney kind of doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
We talked about I'm trying to think of like other older artists that we've reviewed. I feel like a lot of older artists, specifically like rock musicians, really fall into this trap, and I don't get why. It's kind of like the old head hip hop discussion where they're like, "Oh, rap music hasn't been good since Wu-Tang."
Yeah.
Which is like honestly not true. You're missing out on a ton of like good music that was made in between that. But this is like on a different level. They're saying like, when will the youth stand up for what they believe in? Well, like, buddy, if you're not like watching the news, or you know, if you're living under a rock, maybe you don't know about like voices from all different political views are louder than ever now in 2019 versus any time back like in the 70s or 80s, like when these guys were first like making music, you know?
Yeah.
It I just feel like it's frustrating as like a young person to hear these like older musicians with a lot more reach than I will ever have, like getting on young people for this, that, and the other thing, when like in reality they don't know. They're out of touch with the culture now.
Yeah.
They're out of touch with like what they're trying to make commentary on. That like their commentary just falls flat, but
Yeah.
they think that they have something like poignant to say.
Yeah, Claypool and Lennon are too young to be this old.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
I don't
make any
get
sense.
it. They're honestly like not old musicians,
Yeah.
but they are making older music, and I'm sure follow older musicians. Like these, like there are obviously like people our age that only listen to like classic rock.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, music hasn't been good since AC/DC
Yeah.
or something like that. But like it's honestly not true. Like Greta Van Fleet is the first new good band,
Jesus
and it's
Christ.
just Led Zeppelin. It's me. But yeah, I don't know. I'm like tired of hearing that, and I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of that perspective that like young people aren't doing anything right, or they're not doing anything about their environment. They're not doing anything to stand up for what they believe in. Because in 2019, I think that young people are louder than ever.
Yeah.
It's just like an annoying excuse me. It's an annoying trend that we're seeing in music.
Yeah.
And have been seeing for a little while. And it just rears its ugly head again on this record.
Yeah. Going past another moment where they're actually kind of woke. Where they're woke. And talking kind of about and talking about like environmental catastrophes and how we're essentially fleas on Mother Earth's back and she's gonna wash us away. I found that to be a really cool moment on the closer, and one of the more moments where they get political and it's actually worthwhile and it isn't just completely stupid and pointless. But yeah, I get what you're saying about how it's easier I think the better lyrical moments on this thing are the moments where they are just telling stories, or at least
like
touching
the Cricket
topics.
Chronicles.
Yeah,
Revisited is all about like a cricket on some painkillers or something.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a metaphor for like, doctors like prescribing unnecessary drugs, that kind of thing, like getting their patients hooked.
and opioid
And
abuse.
yeah. But on the surface, it's literally a cricket
Yeah.
taking painkillers.
Yeah. But I think my favorite parts of moments is not the lyricism at all. It's more just the moments where they get it out to jam for like 5 minutes and you're just getting away. I think that's kind of weird, and it's kind of a strange thing. As you mentioned Greta Van Fleet a second ago. This thing kind of has a weird version of that, but it gets a pass because it sounds like John Lennon's on the track, but it's just Sean.
just his son.
It's just like we haven't experienced something like that yet, or if we haven't reviewed it yet. But it's very strange to hear Sean because he sounds at moments just like John. And it's nothing he can do about it. He didn't choose his voice.
Yeah.
It's not like he was idolizing him as a kid, or like as like a third party completely detached idolizing him. Like Greta Van Fleet idolized Led Zeppelin. But it's just a very strange thing throughout this entire thing, and it doesn't last because we're getting different vocals and Claypool elements on here too. So like, it's nice to hear that this thing is completely just not made on Sean's vocals and him sounding like John Lennon. I think that was just it's a cool thing, and it's a really interesting thing too, just to hear that concept of someone kind of replicating, but having a good reason to get away with it. But yeah, again, the moments where they're just shredding and giving us these like fantastic psychedelic voids, I find to be really entertaining. I think this album isn't doing a lot new, but there's a lot of fun to be had on here for sure. I don't know how memorable this will be for me personally, but I can say I had a decent time with it. And for something that is of these 40 minutes, it feels like the performances it seems like the performances can hold it down through the entire thing. And comparing this to their last record in 2016, I don't remember a lot of it. It didn't stick with me, but I also remember not liking it at all. It just seemed very messy, where this seems very fundamentally founded.
Cleaner,
We get like kind of modern contemporary like inspirations too. Like I get like OCs and Gizzard influences on this thing, but it's never too much of one influence or one style that's being done to death currently where it works. And I like the playing on this a lot.
Yeah, they're not afraid to work outside of their own little pocket, like a lot of like older musicians or like older music is made.
Yeah,
it's like I'm gonna ignore all influences from the outside. And just make like their own music. I think that they're at least like pulling good influences from what's being made now. But I honestly can't see this thing being like incredibly memorable.
Yeah.
Overall, there's not like any standout moments where I was like, wow, that track gets stuck in my head all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's just kind of like
Playing's good.
It's all right. Yeah.
The playing's good. I like playing on this thing and some lyrical moments, but like I don't think this thing will stick with me. But other than that, yeah, I had fun with it for the most part, and I think I'm positive. And it is a improvement over the last record, so
Yeah.
I'm glad for them. I hope this goes into a larger world. I hope we get more absurd tracks and more strange lyricism, and as this kind of like prog rock return and like psychedelic return happens, neo psychedelia kind of continues to come into the fold. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. Until next time, guys. I've been Vincent,
I'm Trevor.
and see you, boyos.
Bye, everybody.